Talk about being behind. There are so many figures that we are behind on, so many things that I have bought that we have simply not talked about. So it's time to get some of these first impression videos out of the way, some of these toy reviews, and today I got She-Ra. She-Ra. This is one of the characters that I have waited a very long time to get. And that is no small thing that I'm saying right here. I mean, I waited a long time to get this figure. When I first got into Motu and I started collecting this stuff, there were certain characters I was gunning for. I knew I wanted Skeletor, I knew I wanted He-Man, I knew I wanted Teela, I knew I wanted the Sorceress, I knew I wanted Fisto, and so on and so forth. And as I went down the line, I came across She-Ra, and I was like, definitely want this character. But then I started looking around. And like most people from this wave, it seems very hard to get a Zodak. And it was seeming very hard to get a Merman. I could find the Lords of Power Merman easier than I could find the Motu Merman. I don't know why. And She-Ra sold off the shelves lightning. She was nowhere to be found by the time I got into the line. That is without really paying for her. She was going to run me no less than $70. That was a small price. It was going to cost like $70, in some cases like $15 shipping and handling on top of that, and I just could not justify it for one figure at the time. I'm sure that had that drug out a little further, had I seen her go all the way up to $80, I'd have probably pulled the trigger and just used a bonus or something like that to get her if I got one or something, or did the overtime or whatever I had to do, because if she's going up like that, she's going to be real hard to get. But I held out, and I relaxed about it. And as time went on, I saw that Big Bad Toy Store was offering her for her original $18 value, as long as you were willing to put in the pre-order and wait. And I put that pre-order in about 4 to 5 months ago. Not a joke. That's how long it took for me to get one of these. And as usual, the first thing we talk about is the packaging. This is all pretty standard. And of course, right here, that is absolute fabulous artwork. And you know what I'm going to do? You know I'm going to cut that off of there. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to trash the rest. Yes, if you're new here, I open figures, as if you couldn't tell. I buy a lot of figures loose, and I buy a lot of figures packaged. And if I get a hold of a figure that's packaged, I open it. Because for me, part of the reason I have these is to open them up, to display them, to take pictures of them, to move them around, to pose them, to do something with them. I don't want them to just sit in boxes. I'm not that kind of collector. So if this makes you sick, get ready, because we're opening her. And I'm going to go over my general first impression review as to what I think about this character. Okay, so the toy is very different from the other ones that I was expecting. This figure is pretty solid. The shield has an awful lot of detail. I love this gem that sits on it. And when I say an awful lot of detail, I mean for this kind of figure. I'm impressed with what I got out of it. I'm also impressed with the sword being as detailed as it is, that being a smaller power sword, but having the gem in there. It's just paint, but it's just enough of a difference that it really does feel like something special. Now, the character is a little different. The character has this long hair, which isn't bad. It feels rubbery and it moves around. The face sculpt is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. She truly looks beautiful. Now, the arms have this nice intricate detail, like where you could see the gold has kind of like imprints, designs, glyphs, whatever you want to call them. They're really neat. And the boots have the same thing, like these angles that go down and everything like this. This actual I don't know how you would explain it, but this engraved, I think is what I'm looking for, detail. I like her armor has like this protective seashell thing that's going on the breastplate. Why do I like that? Because the only way that I know She-Ra is from the animated series pictures that I've seen, and this is unique to that. It doesn't look like that when I look at it and I see the artwork and everything for She-Ra. So this different look that still 100% gives me the idea that this is She-Ra is really cool. It's different, but it's right on point, and that honestly surprises me to no end. Now, another thing that I find that I really like about her is just she's got this crazy amount of cloth goods on her. She's got these little areas up under her arms where it's like a fabric mesh netting material, like a glittery netting material. And then she also has that on her lower area where the dress is, along with a sticker, which probably could have been put on better. I'll admit that. When I look at mine, the sticker was not lined up perfectly. But it's got this really neat, shiny detail to it. I like that the seashell has that little pearl thing in the middle there, that gem, and then it comes up at the side on just one part of the breastplate with the gold. If I have to say there's something I don't like, it's the headpiece. I personally will not be using the headpiece on this figure. No matter which direction you put it, I feel like it looks ridiculous. Literally ridiculous. I don't like it when she wears it like an actual mask piece, and I don't like it when she wears it and it surrounds her head. I just think that it looks goofy, and I much, much, much prefer her to just simply not have it on. It does her no favors in my opinion. And this stuff is subjective, so if you don't think that this is a problem, maybe you don't. I see it as a problem. I think it makes her look goofy, and I really don't want her to look goofy. I want her to look strong, beautiful, and powerful. And that's what I want to convey when I give her the shield and everything. Not this goofy, weird headdress thing. And maybe the idea when I'm looking at it is like Valkyrie wings, right? Maybe that's what they were thinking. If so, I guess I see it, but I don't. And that is pretty much what I have to say about her. I think that she is absolutely phenomenal. I really do. I love the cloth cape. I love the netting stuff that she got that the other characters don't seem to have gotten. I also really like her weapons. I enjoy her design. I like that seashell breastplate that's there. So much about this character is fantastic. I'm so happy to have her. And she's got the good knees, which I guess I was told by somebody in one of my comments that the bad knees thing was a thing with She-Ra as well. So I'm lucky to have got this one that it seems to be an improvement moving forward. Maybe a, I can't remember what they call that. They call that like a something change or alteration or something like that. But it's not like a variant. It's when they fix something on a figure that they feel needs to be fixed, and that becomes standard moving forward, operational change or something like that. But yeah, this one has the good knees, and all three of my Teela-esque figures have the good knees. My Evelynns don't. They don't have good knees. They look dumpy with their dumb knees. But either way, absolutely ecstatic to have this She-Ra added in with the other figures. And those are my overall thoughts on She-Ra from the Origins collection. I think she's fantastic. I'm very happy to add her to my shelf. I have very little to complain about. In fact, the only thing I complained about this entire video is the headdress mask thing. Really, really not a fan of that. But I could just take it off. Because I could just take it off, it makes the figure flawless. It makes the figure flawless. Now, I would like to see an Origins She-Ra come out that's based more on the animated series as well. I think that's a variant that I don't see any reason for them not to do. They've already done multiple Hordaks. Why not multiple She-Ras? I mean, She-Ra's a big deal, and I guess it would also be important to see a lot of the other cast of characters happen as well. The artwork that we got for her really didn't showcase anything much that I can discern. There's the little person that's in the tree. Looks like there's a Horde Trooper. There's Mosquitor. There's Hordak, and there's her. So I don't see anything necessarily on this card. Unless that's a character that's behind her, I don't see anything on the card that makes me feel like there's another character coming down the way that I don't know, or something like that. Either way, this was fantastic. I'm really happy to put her on my shelf, repeating myself again and again, but the next time I come in here, I think I want to cover something kind of neat, and I want to talk a little bit about the malleable nature, once again, the malleable nature of Masters of the Universe, and why it's so great, and why this one character actually proves it. Later on, guys.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.